Welcome back to the Two Promises podcast. Let's dive right into another exciting adventure with BD and crew as he pursues his new passion of one day finding the most epic bourbon. The Two Promises team send their special thanks to Hobie and the Huckleberries for their masterful theme music. So grab a glass, relax, and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey, now I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth, smooth whiskey. No more wine. I like straight bourbon. Baby, you try the ride.
Right. You face some of these obstacles. You talked a little bit about how you let go your trauma.
Yes.
How did you get there? What did you do to address some of these obstacles so that you could find yourself on the path to recovery?
So I involved myself in program. Look, I became willing to listen to simple suggestions that people made to me. I had a sponsor named Holly Hartman who really, really helped me, and I wasn't gonna be scared anymore. And I was tired of carrying it. Like, it ruined almost every relationship that I ever had in some shape, form, or fashion because I was so angry and I carried that and I just had all these things and I was tired. I was tired of feeling bad. And I wanted to heal. And you know what? So I took a look at it. I wrote it. I looked at it. I don't like a whole bunch of journaling, but I wrote about it a little bit and I wrote it out and I spoke it out loud. And I spoke my truth. I said, I told my family members what happened. Not my mom and I haven't like verbally talked about it, but I let my brother that's still living. I had my oldest brother OD'd, and while I was in prison, and he was like my hero. He was my stepbrother, but I knew him, like I said, since I was 8 years old, and so I grew up with him, and he knew what happened to me when it was younger, and he thought something happened to me, like he slept outside of my room.
To protect you?
Yeah, and then I found out when they called me to the chaplain's office, I already knew. I said, my brother's dead, isn't he? I have very strong intuition. I thought it was just I was high all the time, but now that I'm not high, I just know that I have very strong intuition.
And how did he die again?
He overdosed. I don't know. They said I think it was an accident because he just was getting ready to go to school. He was doing his art again. And I didn't have hardly any time to get out of jail. I mean, I was almost done with a year sentence. I did a year.
What kind of, did they have programs available for you there in prison?
Yeah, I taught school there. I taught girls how to get their GED. Yeah, I got in trouble my first night in prison. So the first night I got there from receiving, these girls were like, "You want to smoke in our room?" I was like, "Bad decision, absolutely." And so I did, and we had been first thing I did, I had the coolest roommates. But anyway, so I thought it was a good idea to do it during count, and they heard us, and so they found me under my neighbor's bed, and I went to lock up in prison, and so I got out by some kind of fault. And thought I was free. I got to go back to my room. Well, the assistant warden called me to her office. And what I mean to tell you I've never been so scared of a woman before in my life. She said, "Miss White, if you ever cause a problem in my prison again," she said, "there is no DO for you. You're going to deal directly with me." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." So I signed up for every good program you could imagine. And every time I saw her across the yard, I'd be like, "I'm going to church. I'm going to school." So after a year, she genuinely liked me when I left. She was like, because I did a lot of stuff. I did the drug and alcohol program, and I ended up like leading a whole dance and stuff for the whole staff with the girls, and it was a whole program within the prison, and that I did for 6 months of my time. It made time go by faster, but it was kind of anyway. So yeah, prison.
So what are some of these programs that you could maybe point someone to that helped you that might be able to help someone else that might be struggling?
Well, I can tell you about programs. I can tell you the programs I did. How to Wear Your Crown program, and that's Rachel Greenway. And but I worked with people like people taught me like Holly Hartman and Leah Bomar, who is an author who I became a published author. Oh, my book signing is tomorrow night in Lexington, Kentucky,
That's awesome.
and I'm the
Congratulations.
feature author. So I'm in an anthology. The anthology, yeah. So I'm gonna be. I'm nervous, but anyway. No, sorry, I went totally off subject. I started thinking about that. I'm trying not to think about that because
No, that's
I'm
great.
just gonna be. I'm uh not gonna be nervous. It's gonna be a really good time. I just can't even believe I can. My name is in print. My name used to be in the local mugshot paper. That's when I would see my name in print like often, and that's how my kids sometimes be like, "Mom, what'd you do?" Anyway, because it was real popular to read the mugshot papers where I'm from. It was small town shit, but seeing my name in print on the back of a book and seeing my story in a book, like it's called an act of recognition. And like to me, it kind of like I have arrived again. You know,
Yeah. You went through a lot of hardship, a lot of obstacles, a lot of struggles, a lot of just very awful things, and you have
I lost my kids. I lost the most important things to me in my life. The things I love the most, the things I would die for, but didn't know how to stay sober for. You know what I mean? Like it was obstacle after obstacle, but it doesn't matter how many obstacles that you have. You can get back up. You can take them one at a time, and there are resources out there. There are people out there that want to help you. You have to do the work. It boils down to that.
right, and that's something that I kind of ran into as well was not being here seemed so much easier than living here. Like you said, like, yeah, I would die for them, but I struggled being able to live for them and to, day in, day out, be sober for them, do the things that you needed to do in life to really provide for them and take care of them. That was where it was difficult because you were also facing your own internal problems that you were, one, feeding with different things, and then those became addictions, and then those became very difficult habits and identities to break free of. So you went through the drug and alcohol program. Did you get any like medical therapy with any providers that weren't?
Oh yeah, I went to the brook. I went to detox, and that from alcohol, right? So 11/1/20, I got sober. I went to Our Lady of Peace Hospital. They gave me some stuff so I wouldn't be so sick. Then I went to the healing place, and they gave me a pair of scrubs and a cot and a trash can and a bunch of snacks. And a girl made me a birthday cake because it was almost my birthday, right? It was really cool. And she gave me a white chip for 24 hours. So I kind of told I didn't want to do their program. So I told my mom they didn't take my insurance. Sorry, mom. And she came and got me. I didn't want to do that. So my son's soccer coach ended up being in sober and called my mom and told me about the program that saved his life at the Brook. And so I called every day for 2 weeks and got in. And because it was COVID, we did outpatient. So I did I did dual diagnosis, intensive outpatient therapy for 2 months for like what, 3 or 4 hours a day for 5 days a week. I think it was. It was a long time. It felt like forever. Okay. But then I graduated the mental health part of it, and I graduated from that, and I had a graduation party.
That's great.
And then I went to so many AA meetings. I love AA. I love a lot of stuff about AA. Especially love the connections. I don't love the judgment. All about harm reduction. Use harm reduction. I am support every path of recovery. And because I would take some CBD gummies or I am getting my medicinal marijuana card from my psychiatrist for anxiety because I can't take pills because I'll go on a 6-day bender. And you know what? You can abuse anything. So I found a whole new world when I got on TikTok, and I found a whole world of people that were recovering differently. And I realized that I had been so close minded, and there's so many more people that I could help. Like because I support everybody. Like, I don't care how you're living, live. You know what I mean? The more people that are living, the more people we have to help the people that are dying. And harm reduction is saving lives. Like, I fully support the Kentucky Harm Reduction Center. They are doing so, so much for the community. And like, I'm just now getting out in the community and learning things.
Can you tell me about this harm reduction?
Yes, harm reduction. I had a sponsor fire me because I used kratom when I had surgery. I used to shoot heroin and meth and take narcotics. Like, I support people that are on methadone. I support people that are on Suboxone. I support all four people that are any ways of recovery. And people in AA say that's not recovering. Who are you to judge somebody's path of recovery? You know what I mean? Like, however you recover is how you recover. And I just want to save more people's lives, period, with love and compassion.
So you felt like AA had some pretty hard, firm lines, and they had their own, like,
I think AA is great for like people that are detoxing or whatever. I'm not putting AA down, so don't say that. You know what I mean? Because it did a lot for me. But yeah, the judgment and how that is, like, I get it, whatever. But I just learned a different world of that.
right. So the harm reduction program, like, it's
teaching people about Narcan. They give out Narcan for free. I went to the Harm Reduction Center. They let people in. They have clients. They have a lounge where they feed them lunch. Like, these people are amazing, and they have needle exchange programs. They make, you know what I mean? And they're in the community. And because of that, there's less trips to the emergency room. These people are really, they just love their job and they love saving people and helping people. And, they just want people to live, period. And everybody get a taste of recovery. And see, that's what the Simple Society is about. I want to create a safe space, like, for everybody, like for everybody who's recovering, and eventually I want to have my own meeting for everybody, whoever's recovering. And I don't care how you're recovering. Medicinal marijuana just got legal in Kentucky. But no, where are they going to go to recover? They can't go to AA. Everybody deserves and needs a place to recover, and I feel like I'm a really good person to help that out. I'm a certified peer support specialist. I went through Goodwill's resources. I graduated their programs, and I took the peer support class, and I graduated, and I have a few other certifications. So I'm doing the thing.
absolutely. Yeah. Those are big steps. So, because there's a lot of people that are struggling with addiction. I know people who have lost their lives due to addiction, families very close to me, people very close to me. And it's
Everybody knows somebody that and is affected with alcoholism or addiction today.
right. And so you being where you are with all of the things that you've gone through, what would you want every person that is struggling with addiction to know?
That it is inside of you, and the magic is inside of you. And it doesn't matter how far down or what you've lost, what you've done. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. You can do it. Do not give up hope. All you need, and this is what I'm saying, is a little dabble, do you? At the tiniest amount of hope. But you know what? You got to put action and be willing to do the work. And if you do, and it's not that hard, you got to listen to simple suggestions. And you know what? But it's not as hard as people make it. And you can do it. I promise you can do it. There are resources and there are people out here that love you and will care about you and help you, if you really honestly want it. If you don't want it, don't waste people's time. Go ahead and keep getting high until you're ready. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it like that, but don't waste anybody's time or your own, because that's all you're doing. And time, there's no store I can go in and buy time back. I wasted so much time. I'm 50 years old. I started my life at 45, and you know what? I can't get any of that time back, but anybody can do it. And you can change any situation, but you can't change if you don't change anything, nothing changes. If you're not willing to change it, nothing changes. And it can be the smallest thing to start doing it. And it's taking little simple suggestions. I'm all about it being simple, okay? about not making it hard. It was really overwhelming. And what I did is I took a little bit from the from the Brook program. I took a little bit from AA. I took a little bit from my sponsors. I took a little bit from the How to Wear Your Crown program. I took a little bit from Leah Bomar. I took a little bit from all these teachers, right? From Mel Robbins' podcast. And that's what I was willing to do, is learn. And I don't have to listen to, I make it simple. I do like one little thing that they say, but the thing is you know what? That stuff, if you're stuck or whatever, it doesn't come easy because it's uncomfortable, because it's not what you're used to. So you have to practice it. Like, pick one thing to do, simple, a day, to change for a week. But you have to do it. Like they say in AA, it works if you work it. And that's the truth.
I like a lot of what you said there. I like what you said about hope and action.
Yes.
Even just the finest bit of hope, and then put some action behind it. And you're
Yes.
saying you don't have to take that whole mountain down at once. You
No.
can just say, I'm gonna practice this one simple technique, whether it's
One.
a breathing
And
exercise
it
or
changes your mindset. It changes your mindset. That one little action leads to another action, I promise. And even if it's getting out of bed and like doing something different, or not even get out of bed, do something. If you have to do something in bed to start, whatever, do it. Do whatever's gonna work for you. But make it simple. Don't make it hard. Don't make it hard on you, because life's already too hard. You know what I mean?
right.
And like I say, life be lifing. Things show up. And you know what? Just because you get sober, or just because whatever your life changes that you make, things are gonna come at you. But you know what? You'll be able to handle it a lot better. I want people to look at my story, and that's why I started to. Well, that's not a lie. That's not why I started TikTok. I started TikTok because everybody was mad at me, and I was living in the house with my family, and I had made an ass of myself at the soccer game, and they weren't real happy with me, but they were tolerating me. So I decided. My son's like, "Get on TikTok, mom." And the first thing I did was I saw a guy, my recovery Mike, doing doing a recovery live. I was like, I'm gonna do that eventually, and I have, and it just became a thing. And right now I have 94,000 followers on TikTok with 6.2 million likes on my videos. And I've had about 40 million, and I have 73,000 followers on Facebook. I'm working on my YouTube, and you know what? Like, that's important to me, because that means my story is getting out, and I want people to look at me and see hope.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
had to find my voice again, and I'm still just finding my voice. I'm still just learning to talk in videos, but you know what? I don't know. I try not to have any fear anymore. Like, I try to let go of fear, and that's a hard one, but it can be done. It's all about your mindset, and a lot of it's about your choices, because you can make the choice to sit there, but if you continue to sit in the problem, you'll never get to the solution, ever. If you continue to just say, I'm depressed, I'm stuck, well, this happened, or I'm addicted, or whatever, if you don't change that narrative and flip that narrative and change it to, I am learning to whatever, or you got to flip that narrative into something positive, or you're never going to find the solution.
That's really powerful. Absolutely. And like you said it, you hit the nail on the head.
One last thing before I got, yeah, and live in gratitude. Living with my mom, I was so grateful to have somewhere to live, and I love my mom so much, but we have like a very interesting dynamic, and it's very hard to live in the house with your mom, with when she's raised your kids and she's the mom and you're the co-mom, learning to be the mom. Fitting it, another saying is, I fit in where I get in, because I had to. And but my mom can be real mean sometimes, and she knows it. And so I would walk around, instead of cussing her out, I would walk around and I go, I'm grateful to have a mom. I'm grateful she's still here. I'm so grateful she's still alive. And, da, da, da. And so I learned to be grateful. And then I started going, man, like when I didn't want to sweep, I'd be like, man, I'm grateful to have a house to sweep. I'm grateful to, to be alive. I'm grateful. And, my mom gave me a place to live. So I started learning how to just really, really flip my thoughts. And Holly Hartman taught me that, to do that, and it became a practice, and became like, it became just a habit. And really, when you start doing that and looking at things like that, man, it changes the way your outlook. It really does. And then Mel Robbins put science behind it on one of her podcasts. I don't remember which one, but she did. She puts the science. It's crazy. My sponsor taught me a lot. Holly taught me a lot of stuff, and I've been listening to these podcasts. And Mel Robbins puts the science behind it, and it's the like manifesting and changing your mindset, and it is, and it's so important. But look, I am a soccer mom, and soccer is getting out behind me. Oh, the lights are shining. Um, you know, can I just say first of all, I'm sitting in a car, which means if you only knew the process of getting my license back. I found out I had more charges, man, in 2015. Shit, I didn't even remember 2015. I went to go get past my permit test. They passed it. I was so excited. They're like, "Oh, but you got more charges." I was like, "What?" I had no clue. I went and Google mapped it. I don't even remember being there or any other counties around it. Well, yeah, I was there. I was driving 80 miles an hour. Sorry, somebody called in. I mean, so now I have a license, and my best friend left me this beautiful van, and I get to go pick my child up. He gets to spend the night at my house. I get to take him to school, and that is one of my biggest accomplishments. And I'm a grandmother, and I have a daughter that's in Colorado, and I have a relationship with my brother. I have a family, and and that's what's important to me. I have a heart monitor on right now, so it really puts stuff in perspective for me. What what am I gonna put my energy into? And if they told me I had a couple weeks to live, just for instance, what is important to me? And what's important to me is helping people know that there's hope. And all I have right now is my voice. Now that I have a vehicle, I'm trying to get out in the community more. Like, I'm networking, I'm getting to know people, and it's pretty amazing. I'm around professionals all the time, and when you go from you know doing it from when you go from hanging out with prostitutes and drug dealers, and being in prison, to networking with professionals and having people that care, love you, genuinely love you. Like, that's what's really important. I mean, it's not about how much money I leave in this world. I'm going to leave a lot of it, but I want to leave my mark on what did I do to what did somebody think about me? What did I help somebody with, or how did I make somebody feel? How did I make you feel? Did I make you feel good? Is there anything, you know what I mean? And I want to be known for the people that I helped, and the good that I did in the world. It's just a start, baby.
Absolutely, and you've come a long way.
I'm
You are
50 and
doing a lot of
fabulous, dude.
great
I'm
things.
ready to go.
And
I am ready to go.
yeah,
I have a
keep
realtor. I'm
going,
looking for a
keep going.
house. I'm trying to make myself and get my business started. I am getting my business started, and I have so many connections, and but at the same time, like, life shows up. Like, there's other things going on. I had my Facebook account hacked, and over $2,000 stolen from me. I had anyway, a lot. But I'm so grateful to be on, and, I just want everybody to know that no matter what it is you're going through, it can get better, but you have to be the one to put it in, and nobody can do it for you. Nobody.
Absolutely, and I liked what you talked about gratitude and how you just immersed yourself in that, and how that opened you up to more of the positive experiences. That allowed you to see things through that different lens so that you could appreciate more things to be grateful for.
And you have to start being great, seeing what you in abundance. Leah told me that you have to start seeing what you have instead of what you don't have, because when you start seeing what you have, I promise you more things start coming to you. And you start, it's your mindset. I'm telling you, it is your mindset, and you can change your mindset, and anybody can do it. There's science to it. I promise. Anybody can do it. I used to lay fetal position. I used to, like, drink vodka for breakfast. Looking for a shot of dope. I mean, and now look, I'm a soccer mom about to be late to go pick my child up. It can be done.
Absolutely,
Thank you so much for having me on. I so appreciate it. Like, I think that I had a great time. I
absolutely.
know I talk a lot, but
Nope, you're great. That's what podcasts are for. I'm so glad that you were able to get on the show, and thanks for sharing your story with us. And I'm really excited for all of the good things that you're gonna do, all the people you're gonna help, and for you to be able to go pick up your baby from soccer practice.
Thanks, and follow me on TikTok and follow me on in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Where should our listeners go to?
Okay, Simply Sober on TikTok, Meredith White on Facebook, Meredith White 56, that's my angel number, on Instagram, and YouTube, it's Meredith White 4209.
Awesome. Thank you so
All
very
right,
much.
thanks, guys.
Yep.
Just wait, big things are coming up, I promise. And for you too as well, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Have a great
Good
night.
night.
Thank you for joining us today on this curious roller coaster of life. If this is your stop, please exit peacefully. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're ready for another one, just push play. Just a final note before you go, thank you, and thank you for feeling. The distillation and aging process is different for everyone. I'm not quite sure what you're ready for. Sip slowly and enjoy responsibly.
Baby says she's leaving if I don't stop drinking wine. So I switched to whiskey and I'm feeling fine. Drinking that smooth, smooth whiskey. No more wine. I like straight bourbon. Baby, you try the